Everyone, it's Christian Fuchs here. I would like to say a big thank you to our fans and keep having our back for the upcoming Premier League season as well as the Europa League. Keep watching Leicester Fan TV. They have the latest news and they keep you up to date on leicesterfantv.com. So stay tuned and thanks for your support.
Hello there. You weren't expecting me today, were you? Well, welcome to our special Away Days Fan Zone show with none other than Robbie Lyle from AFTV.
Welcome to Leicester Fan TV. With special thanks to our pals at ADT Taxis, Feed Me, Piglet's Pantry, Tiger, Leicester Garage Conversions, Pink Vehicle Leasing, Hologram, The Fox's Arms, Moyer Wade Interiors, and our chosen charity, Memphis UK. We bring you the fans' views on the match each week, and your views matter to us. Join the fans debate each match with us. Follow us at Leicester Fan TV.
Hello again. Well, like I said, we've got Robbie in. Let's bring him in straight away. Let's get this show started. Morning, Robbie. How are you?
Morning. How you doing? I'm good, mate. I'm good. Looking forward to the game.
I am as well. So you've started pretty well. You've won the Community Shield. You beat Fulham and you beat West Ham this weekend. Do you take this game as a real big priority, or are you still pushing it for more Europe than anything?
No, I wouldn't say this game's a priority for Arsenal. I think it's a game that obviously Mikel Arteta, the way he's been since he's come in, he wants to win every game. So I think this is not going to be any different. He's going to want to win the game. But obviously, it'd be a much changed team. We played West Ham at the weekend. That was a very, very tough game. They gave us a good. I think we was a bit fortunate, to be fair, to win it. And then we've got Liverpool, our next game up. So, and I know you guys have got City. So,
yeah,
both of us have got two very tough games coming up at the week. Our game's on Monday, actually. So, I expect to see a much changed team. But I'm just going by how Mikel Arteta's been since he's come in, and he's kind of been one of those sort of managers that he wants to win everything. He wants to in any game he plays in, he wants to win, and I kind of like that.
That's good, because I'm sure I read yesterday you've got 8 players out, but they're not first team regulars, though, are they?
That headline was so misleading because those the way they put that 8 players out. Those players been out all season.
Right.
It's not like it's not like, say, the player. I mean, these players like Pablo Mari, Gabriel. These guys have been missing since the start of the season. So, I think the only one you could look at and say, well, Kieran Tierney, he's out, but then it'd be very much doubtful that he would have started the game anyway. So, I think that headline's a bit misleading. I think all the main guys will be available if he wants to use them.
Do you think he'll actually play a lot of the first team, or do you think it'd be like 50-50?
I think it'll be less than 50-50. I think that he'll make a lot of changes. As I said, we just played that game in the weekend, and then we got Liverpool up next. He can't afford to get injuries to players like Aubameyang, for instance. Lacazette. I'd be very surprised to see those guys in. And I think there are some players that haven't really played, haven't really figured yet, that could get their chance to start tonight. I think William Saliba is a new signing that we made. We actually bought him last year, but he went immediately on loan. But he's back now. I think he could, we could see him make his debut in this game. And then I think it'd be guys like Eddie Nketiah up front. We're going to make a lot of changes. Reece Nelson will probably come in. We might start with, you might see guys like Pepe. Pepe, he might start because he's been on the bench for the first couple of games. But I reckon, apart from, say, maybe Granit Xhaka, Pepe, I think it's going to be a much changed team. Because just because of that big game that we got against Liverpool coming up.
Yeah, I understand where you're coming from. The League Cup isn't really a priority as such for for the bigger clubs that are looking in Europe and that, and especially with you having Liverpool, us having Man City on Sunday, I think it's going to make a huge difference to our team selections, because Maddison hasn't started yet. I think Maddison will play tonight. He's just coming back from injury. But I think there'll be a lot of young names. I mean, not the names, mostly the names that you mentioned, I've heard about. But people like Dewsbury Hall, Luke Thomas, Josh Knight, I don't think you would have heard much about them. They're like young, under 23. But that's the problem that we have. We don't have the strength in depth. Like you've got a big strength in depth. So the only good thing about it on this is that, you haven't won at the KP for the last 4 visits. You've lost 3 and drew 1.
Is it 4 or 3?
It's 4. You drew the first. You beat us 5-2, and then it was 0-0, and then we've won the last 3. Do you think that plays on the players' minds a bit, that they haven't won, or do you think this is like a totally different kettle of fish? Let's just go out, or do you think it actually plays in the players' minds?
I don't know if it was. I don't know if it'd be like plays on their minds, but I'm sure they're going to be aware of it. You know, I mean, we've been poor the last 3 times we've been there. The only thing I would say is that the last 3 times we've been there is not been under Arteta. You know what I mean? And he's a different manager. You know what I mean? Under Emery, you know, we were very poor when we were. I remember I think it was the one when we got beat 3. Was it 3-0? I mean, we were terrible that day.
You had the lad sent off, didn't you? I think that day, the fullback. I think it was.
I beg your pardon?
You had the fullback sent off. I can't remember his name now.
Yeah,
and it changed the game completely.
Yeah, we even without that, we've been poor. Like, I mean, every time recently we've come up there. So yeah, they'll be aware of that. But as I said, it's a different manager, and this you know, basically our away record up until he turned up against most of the sort of clubs up the top end of the table has not been good. But since Arteta's come, you know, we've managed to go and beat Wolves away. We've gone away to other clubs and beaten them. We've taken a lot of big scalps. You know, I mean, we beat Liverpool, we've beaten Manchester City, Chelsea. You know, so there's reasons to be optimistic, because he's what I like about Arteta is tactically a lot better than what Emery was.
Yeah.
And arguably better than Wenger was. You know, I mean, he comes up with a way and a system that he thinks can get him a result. And I think that probably he'll do that tonight.
Yeah.
And as I said, you know, the point that you made about some of your players that are coming in, your squad players, our squad players that come in, even the very young ones that come in, they're quite experienced because they've played a lot of games. They've played a lot of Europa League games. They played a lot of FA Cup games. I mean, somebody like a Joe Willock, who probably come in tonight. He's played a lot of football in the first team. He's even though he's a young player. Saka, if he plays, you know, he played at the weekend. He's one of our best players. You know, he's one of our best players last season, but he's still only like 18. And he's a very experienced player for an 18-year-old, because he played lots and lots of first team football. So we got, you know, even Reece Nelson as well. Again, lots of first team football. So there's a lot of young players that we've got that, you know, they're first team ready. That's into our advantage. And then, as I said, it'd be a changed team. I do think Arteta as well. I've noticed with him that he always as well does have a few surprises that you think to yourself, he's going to rest everybody, and he will include a couple of those first teamers. And I also do feel that he will have guys like Aubameyang and that on the bench. He will have like an insurance policy on the bench in case it's going wrong. But, you know, Leicester, a great team. It's going to be a good game. I
mean, we've been to the quarterfinal twice and the semi-final once in the last 3 years. And I think this year we might be struggling, because if we beat you tonight, we've got Liverpool in the next round. I mean, what more of a tougher draw do you want than Arsenal in the first round and then Liverpool in the next round? It is an absolute nightmare. I mean, last year we look on it the same. We look on it the same way. You know, I mean, it's a tough draw. Leicester away, Liverpool away. We're looking on it the same way. You know, but then we look on it and we say to ourselves, well, winning the FA Cup this year, we had to do it the hard way. We had Sheffield United away in the quarterfinal, Man City in the semis, and Chelsea in the final. So I don't think we're scared of it, but it is daunting, definitely. Yeah. Question for you from Zach, who's my American Fox. What do you think the difference will be now? Now there's no crowds going to be in there. does it make a huge difference? Because at Leicester, I think it makes a huge difference to us that we've got no fans in watching, especially now it's going to be till March time. So do you think that'll make a huge difference?
Yeah, I do. I think we've seen already that, you know, it's a disadvantage to certain teams. I've always, you know, I always come up to Leicester. It's always a very hostile ground. The fans make loads of noise up there. They really get behind their team. And despite this being a Carabao Cup game, I think it would have been a full house. Arsenal would have brought loads of fans up there because Arsenal fans always like travelling to Leicester. So it would have been a full house. It would have been a great atmosphere. It changes the dynamic of the game completely. I think you've seen. I mean, I was looking at Sheffield United the other day, and look at them. I mean, it's like a regular team now. But last year, I remember when I went there, you could hardly hear yourself speak. You know, it was such a great atmosphere, so hostile. So I think it does. It helps a team like Arsenal. I really do think it helps a team like us when we're going away to a team that we know normally they would have really had their fans giving that 10%. And what I've noticed, if teams sometimes don't get off to a good start, it does go against them. Yeah.
Also, Locks has asked a question: is all Arsenal afraid of Vardy tonight in case he comes on and scores? Because he does like scoring against you. He
always scores, right? He's him. Harry Kane, there's a couple of players like that. They always score against us, right? No, if he ain't playing, it's happy days. You know what I mean? Because Vardy always scores. Either he gets a penalty or he always scores. So if he ain't playing, happy days.
Good. I mean, Harry Kane always scores against us as well. So you're not the only one he scores against. He's always banging in goals, left, right, and centre.
Yeah. But you know, Vardy's quite. I really rate Vardy. You know, I don't think he gets the respect that he deserves. You know, what I mean, when you think of his age, and what he's still. I was watching your game at the weekend, man, and I see that guy put in a sprint, and I'm like, how old is he? You know what I mean? So
33.
Yeah, he's an exceptional player, and the fact that he's not slowing down. You know, you've got to give him full respect. You know what I mean? And he's a great finisher, and he's a dangerous player. And if you don't deal with him properly, you know what's going to happen. So I hope he's not playing.
I've got a funny feeling we'll start Iheanacho up top, and Vardy will be on the bench because we've got a slight problem with Wilf and Didi. He's got a bit of a groin strain. He's pulled himself out of the Nigerian team. Whether that's just so he can play, but he doesn't want to play them extra games.
He's been playing in defence, hasn't he?
He has
been playing in defence.
He looks solid, but when it comes to one-on-ones, it's a bit. I don't know. He's not that tactically aware for the one-on-ones in defence. When he's in the midfield, yes, but actually at the back, but he's looked solid in the air and the passing. Yeah, he looks solid, but it's just when someone's coming on him, like on Sunday when we played Burnley. Vitra was one-on-one. He dropped him the shoulder, and he'd lost him. So I don't know. But Evans is back on Sunday against Man City. He can't play tonight, so I think Wes Morgan will have a game tonight.
Okay, Big Wes.
So, Big Wes. I love Big Wes.
If Wes is in there, I mean, then we got to go for pace because And I think it will probably be Eddie Nketiah starting tonight.
Right.
And Eddie's on form at the moment, Eddie Nketiah. You know what I mean? He went away just before the season started. He was with the England under-21s. He scored a hat-trick, scored 4 goals in 2 games. He scored the winner at the weekend. And I think he'll be chomping at the bit to play tonight. And Eddie Nketiah, I think, will lead the line for Arsenal tonight. And again, as I said, even though he's a kid, he's quite an experienced kid in that he's played a lot of He's played a lot of football, so I'd be putting Eddie up against Wes Morgan just for the foot race.
Yes, I don't think there'll be much of a foot race there, pal. To be honest, your mate Chappie's left a comment about the oldest Golden Boot winner. He beat Banyan by 1 goal, didn't he? So he's still got
all those penalties stacked up in his favour, didn't they? So, respect to him. Respect to, as I said, to Jamie Vardy. You know, at his age. I mean, I was looking at the other day and I was seeing Wayne Rooney at the weekend. He's playing against Luton for Derby, and I'm like, you know, a player of his talent shouldn't be.
No,
you know, but I think it's because my personal opinion, maybe he hasn't looked after himself throughout his career. Whereas you look at Vardy, he's older than Rooney.
Yeah.
Right. And he's still playing at the highest level. And I think he could still be playing for England if he wanted to. And, you know, there's all these strikers at the moment, like Aubameyang, he's 31. There's, you know, I saw Ibrahimovic, 38, scored yesterday. You've got, you know, Messi's 30-odd. Ronaldo's 34, 35, you know. Lewandowski, 32. So, you know, the best strikers are still of that age, you know what I mean? And they're still banging in the goals. And I think Vardy's in amongst that because he keeps himself so fit and so sharp. And definitely, I don't want to see him playing tonight.
This is one man that took over. Soyuncu, what do you rate to him? Because he took over Harry Maguire. I mean, we spent we sold Harry Maguire for 80 million. We bought in a defender for 18, and we improved defensively 100 times better we were last year without Maguire. I mean, do you actually rate Soyuncu? Would you have him in the Arsenal team?
Oh, well, he's better than Maguire, in my opinion, right? You know, and Arsenal were actually after Soyuncu before Leicester. He was a player that I remember doing my transfer shows, a player that we were seriously looking at bringing in. We didn't go for him in the end. He ended up at Leicester, and I think he was sort of on your bench at first, wasn't he?
The first season, the first season. I think he played about 6 games.
Yeah, I really like him. He's very combative, good in the air. He's quite quick. His attributes suit the Premier League perfectly. And again, another player that I think is very underrated. I think sometimes Leicester suffer from the problem that even though you got won the league and that, it's still Leicester maybe still looked upon as one of the smaller clubs. Because to me, if Soyuncu was playing at Man United, even at Arsenal, everybody would be raving about him. You know, same with Vardy, he would be on a higher level if he was playing for a United or a Chelsea, or not just because there's more hype around our club. You know what I mean? So Soyuncu is a good player. That guy I saw. My favourite player at Leicester, the player that I've always looked at and said he would be perfect at Arsenal, as that Pereira.
Yes,
and I know
you can't have him. You can't have him. No.
Yeah, but the guy that you brought in to replace him recently, that Castagna, very, very impressed with him. So Leicester, you know what I mean? You've got some excellent recruitment there.
He gives. I know he's playing on the right hand side of midfield. He's playing on the right hand side of the defensive minute, but he can play left or right back. And a lot of people are saying he's bought to replace Chilwell, which I think might happen when Pereira gets fit. He drops in at right back and Castagna goes over to left back. And the difference with him and Chilwell is Chilwell sort of could attack, but his defending wasn't very good. But with Castagna, he can go forward and come back. He gives you that more solid, being a bit more solid down that left-hand side or right-hand side. So hopefully he'll be able to take the place of Chilwell quite easily, to be honest.
You think he'll play tonight, Castagna?
Yes, I think he will. I think him and Soyuncu will play. Wes, and I think it with the young lad I said earlier, Luke Thomas, who came on. He played 3 games last 3 games when Chilwell was conveniently injured last year. Luke Thomas came and he played quite well. He played against Spurs, he played against Man U, and he did quite well against us. So hopefully it'll be a game that he can come in and play. So it'd be a bit of a totally different lineup for Arteta to pick his team against, to be honest.
Yeah, and in midfield you'd have I've forgotten his name.
Madison will play.
What's the guy with the hair? I've forgotten his name now.
Chowdhury. Hazim Chowdhury.
Yeah. I like him as well. He's rough. He's rough.
Yes.
I think Arteta might be looking at it and saying, "Hey, I know, right? Any player that we're hoping to keep wrapped up under cotton wool for the weekend, they don't want him going anywhere near him."
See, another one at the minute is Mendy. A lot of people are mentioning Mendy. That's the wrong comment. Sorry. That one. Mendy, Pratt, and Tielemans. That's what our midfield has been at the minute, with Barnes and Madison going on the other side. So Mendy's been. He should have gone in the summer, but they gave him an extension on his contract, and he's proved valuable. He really has. He's done so well. It's great. He stepped in where indeed he's gone into the back, and Mendy's come in, and he's played really well. And we started the thing off on Leicester Fan TV a couple of years ago, #Magic Mendy, when he first came, because he was brilliant. But it sort of died off a bit, and he died off a bit. But now he's come back, so we've started the old #Magic Mendy again now.
Pratt, who scored that banger at the weekend, again, that was another player that was heavily linked with Arsenal.
Was he? I didn't know that.
Yeah. Before you got him again, we were seriously looking at Dennis Pratt as well. Didn't go for him in the end, but so Leicester have got some very good players. As I said, it's team selection, isn't it? It's going to be really interesting to see what the team selection is. It's just that it's what Arsenal do in that midfield is going to be interesting. I think Willock will definitely play.
Yeah.
I think Xhaka, he might go Xhaka and El Neni. Or he might even... It's really hard to call what he's going to do there. I think Ainsley Maitland-Niles will probably play tonight.
That's the one that got sent off the other year.
That's right, He has improved so much since that. Yeah. Last time you guys saw him, he's a very, very good player now. A bit like that Castanian, that he gets up and down the pitch, very dynamic, runs up players, but also does his defensive duties very well as well. So I'd expect to see him play tonight. Particularly the fact that I don't think we'll play at Kieran Tierney. He's got a slight knock, and we want to keep him fit. We want to keep him fit for that Liverpool game. He's absolutely essential for that game.
Ross has asked a question about Mahrez. Were you really interested in Mahrez coming to Leicester? Was that true? Facts?
Yeah, no. Arsenal were linked with Mahrez when he was at Leicester. And I think there was a lot of interest there. I just don't think we could afford it at the time, but with a lot of signings at that time, So they were interested in Mahrez at the time.
Oh, that's good. I was doing me a little bit of research on how last time Arsenal won this competition was 1993, 27 years ago. I didn't realise it was that long ago. Yep,
it's true. We got to the final a couple of seasons ago. And got beaten by City in Man City in the final quite easily, actually. That's the last time we got to the final. I mean, you know what it is, right? Over the years with this competition, I just don't think we've taken it seriously at all. Arsene Wenger has literally, when he was in charge, he'd literally just roll out the academy. I think he was one of the first sort of managers who started doing that with his competition, where literally he just rolled out the whole academy, rested every single player. And so a lot of times we do okay. And then, but he'd still keep playing those academy players as far as it went. And then eventually we come up against a really good team who put out, you come up against a Chelsea or something who under Mourinho, who plays strongest team, and we'd be playing our academy team and we'd lose. So that's why I think we haven't really done a lot in this competition for a very long time, because that's how we've treated it. But I do think under Arteta, he's a bit different. He's a sort of guy that he will have insurance on the bench. He might mix it a little bit. The only reason why I think he might go with more kids than normal tonight is the fact that we've got Liverpool at the weekend. And obviously that's a huge game. The other factor as well that I think at the moment that might affect the selection, it might have been stronger, is the fact that we've got a lot of players at the moment that we're trying to move out of the club. And so you look at a player like, say, for instance, Lucas Torreira. I think he would have played tonight under normal circumstances. But because he could be sold, he's on the verge of selling him, I don't think he'll play. I don't think Socrates will play for that reason. Kolasinac might not play for that reason as well. We got Guendouzi, who we're trying to shift out the club as well. He may not play. Ozil, will he play? Again, so we've got about 5-6 sort of players that you could say stroke first team players that under normal circumstances you probably say they'd be playing, but because the transfer window is still open, I think some of those guys might not play purely for the reason that you don't want them to go out there, run up in a chowdhury, get injured, be out for 2 months, right? And then that scuppers a deal for them to go somewhere. Because at the moment, the way Arsenal are doing their business in this sort of pandemic transfer window is we're not really shelving that. We're having to sell players to buy players, and there's a couple of players that Arsenal are after. And in order to get them, they're going to have to sell players. So I think they're going to protect some of those potential players that could be going out, and that does weaken the team a bit.
Yeah,
so
we've got a bit of deadwood as well that we've got to try and clear before we buy. I think what we're going for is like the new signing Undorf from Roma. We've actually had him on loan, and then with the option to buy. It was going to be definitely to buy. Now it's with the option to buy. I think that's what we're going to look at. We're going to look at loans with the option.
Every club at the moment, I think, that's the reality of the situation we're in the moment, is that it's loan deals, swap deals. That's the majority. You're not seeing loads and loads of humongous deals like you normally see in the summer, because the clubs don't have the money. And then, obviously now with the news yesterday of, further restrictions, fans not being able to come back and stuff like that. You think of the millions that these clubs, Arsenal with, all the 60,000 fans in there, the biggest hospitality section, I think, of all clubs, all that is shut.
Yeah.
They're losing crazy money at the moment, and it's not sustainable. So you can't just go out there and be spending money that you don't have right now. You've got to be looking at it.
Look at our sponsors, King Power, duty free in Thailand. There's no one flying. No one's going away at all. So people are struggling. The companies are struggling. So I don't know what money we've got in the coffers and that, but we can't have a lot of money. The King Power can't be putting much money in at the minute because we just haven't got the money. So like you say,
hence these loan deals, and a lot of these loan deals are like these loan fees, which I've been saying on my transfer shows that a loan fee is effectively like you're buying a player for one season.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So
Gareth Bale, Gareth Bale for 1 year.
Sorry,
wasn't it 20 million for Gareth Bale for 1 year?
Yeah, I think when they add in all of these wages and stuff like that, but effectively that's like they bought him for a year.
Yeah.
And you look on that and it's crazy. But that's what clubs are having to do right now because they just can't afford. Who's going to outlay? Only a few clubs can outlay mega money. I mean, my mate was saying to me this morning, he's going, "Oh, look at Wolves have just spent 30 or million on Semedo, who they bought in." But I'm like, yeah, but that's because they're only able to do that because they're selling Jota.
That move surprised me, him going Liverpool. Will he be a first-team player at Liverpool? A first-team regular in Liverpool? I'm not sure there.
Probably not. You've got a chance of winning the league, though.
Well, yeah. Well, we're top at the minute. Remember, we're top. And the last time we were top after 2 games, we went to win. So don't count Liverpool kicking just yet.
I wouldn't hold out much hope for that this season. Right?
No, I wouldn't either, to be honest, pal. Right, one last question, Robbie. Score. What do you think the score is going to be tonight, then?
It's so hard to predict because you just don't know what the team's going to be. So it's it's nigh on impossible. I think if we get a strongish team out, I'll fancy us because it's a hard one because you guys as well. You won the first 2 games. We've won the first 2 games. Mikel Arteta, though, he has a system. And that's what I like about him. He has a system. It's so tight. You know what I mean? I can see it. I can see it going draw and penalties easy.
I was just about to say exactly the same thing. Draw and penalties,
Yeah, I could see a draw and penalties. I really can.
I just hope it's not 0-0 and then penalties. That would be a nightmare.
Yeah. I'm going to go there. I'm going to go draw and penalties. And then it's anyone's.
Yeah, as long as it's not like the Bournemouth Crystal Palace one. Like the Bournemouth Crystal Palace the other day when it was, 10-11, 12-10 or 12-11? Oh, no.
To be fair, also, we're pretty decent on penalties, man. Penalty things we've had recently, we're decent on.
We've only got Vardy at the minute that I've seen take a penalty. So,
So maybe penalties is the way.
Vardy takes number 5, though. He always goes for the 5th. He goes for the glory at the end.
He always. But Vardy, if I'm the keeper, I'm just standing still because when he takes that 5th penalty, he always blasts it down the middle.
Yeah. Although against West Brom, he had 2 in the side netting, which was good. So he's changing his style.
The other thing, actually, tonight, the other thing interesting about Arsenal tonight is that we probably might have we just signed a new keeper.
Oh, yeah.
Called Runnison from Dijon in France. He's Icelandic. He might make his debut again. That'll be. We don't know what he's like. I mean, normally we've got Martinez, Leno, 2 great keepers. Now Martinez has left. Runnison could come in and be interesting to see, or it might be Matt Macy. I don't think it would be Leno. Yeah. Again, he'll be held back for the weekend.
Well, we normally give Danny Ward a run the second keeper. But Schmeichel normally plays in the bigger games, so whether he keeps Schmeichel in there at the minute, we don't know. So, like you say, with the scores and that, you just don't know what to predict because you don't know the side. That's really all it is. Right, Robbie, we've sort of overrun keeping us. It was only going to be 15 minutes. We've done half hour.
No problem.
I didn't think there'd be that much to talk about for tonight's game, being it's only the first round. Right, Robbie. Cheers, pal. Thank you.
No, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
We'll see you again soon. Cheers, mate. Right, that was Robbie from AFTV on the away day show. So we shall see you soon. Have a good night tonight, wherever you're watching it. If you can watch it somewhere, I don't know where people are going to watch it. It's all a bit difficult tonight to watch it. So hopefully everyone's enjoyed that. Robert, thank you. Chappie, thank you. Imitaz, thank you for watching. Robert, thank you for watching. Hope you're all well. Hope you're good. We shall see you. Hold on. I've done something wrong here. We shall see you next week. No, we won't. Sorry. We won't see you next week. We shall see you tonight with a pre-show before the Arsenal game. Come and get on. Come and get your views to us. Hope you're well. Hope you're good. So it's ciao, ciao, adios, good morning, goodbye, top of the morning to you. See you later. Bye-bye now.